Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There has been a huge amount of focus on Alpha 3.0 recently, but there is still a lot of updated information that CIG and Foundry 42 are releasing beyond that. That can be discerned from the latest schedule reports, PU timeline, but also monthly reports and ATVs and other sources too. Today we're going to be talking about the most up-to-date information beyond 3.0, and this is going to take us between now and early 2018 realistically, although we will see some other things. It's worth mentioning as well, but the new Delta patch updates could possibly allow for much more regular, smaller updates, and major patch numbers like 3.1 and 4.0 become less relevant, possibly only changing for major mechanics, and we will see more rapid iteration of items literally being placed into game once they're completed, with ships, mechanics, and all of that. Also, bear in mind with Star Citizen that everything is always changing too. So with that in mind, a few major mechanics that are coming in the short term. Mining is the next planned one, with ground-based mining for the Prospector and by hand being the easiest for them to implement, finding and marking deposits, planet or moon side. But then we will also be getting gas and asteroid mining too, pretty quick after that, I expect. It's not mega complex mechanically for them to do that, but they do want to have voxel-based asteroids and great-looking gas clouds and cloud tech, so they're working on those at the moment as well, and we should see them in the very near future. The other major mechanics that we should also see in the not too distant future, repair. That's likely to be, to start with, by hand with welding tools, and then changing out components on systems. So your shield generator might literally get damaged and a component will burn out on it, or something on your engines, and you'd go down over to that system and you'd open it up and you'd replace a small component in there, and then more hull-based repairing will become later, and that's when you'll get like the crucible repairing or much more hull-scaled repairs, but that will be coming a little bit later. Salvage, the Reclaimer should be ready extremely soon, and the salvage mechanics in their first iteration are likely to come at a similar-ish time. Now, it may be just salvageable areas as missions. It might be some destroyed ships that you can nom up, it's like stripping the components by hand and then chucking them literally into a reclaimer or something like that. Expect drones and deeper gameplay in the future, but the first iteration of salvage shouldn't be too hard for them to do in the near future, and it is a core mechanic. Medical, so dying in the verse is something to be avoided, and being injured or downed is going to be added as well, and the ability for those afflictions to be treatable on the fly. There are going to be medical supplies that you can treat or stabilise players with, or even get them back into the fight. The Cutlass Red's going to allow players some extra tension if they require it too, might act as a mobile spawn point maybe, but expect the ability to drag players and for medics to be extremely important even in their first iteration of getting players up and that sort of stuff, or at least medical equipment. We've got the jabby needles at the moment, but they're not, those medipens aren't even nearly what the medical system's going to be. Scanning. So scanning and marking areas is going to be extremely important too. With Item System 2.0, we are going to have the ability to have much more dynamic signatures from ships. Each component, system, cooler, powered device producing IR and EM signatures that will be detectable by players based on what setup they have. So some scanners are going to be better at certain things, some are going to be combat scanners, some are going to be long-range scanners. Up to this point, we've only really had very basic combat radars and scanners, and we've seen that like golf swing mechanic they talked about a while ago, but expect a lot more in-depth gameplay with scanning. It won't just be ships or points of interest though, it will be things on the ground, it will be lots of different points of interest in space, buildings, wrecks, things on moons, planets, lots of different stuff, and this is going to make signature management and stealth really important in game as well, whereas in Arena Commander you kind of know where your enemies are going to be, although you could use stealth to avoid missiles or avoid targeting locks or sometimes creep up on people. When you're talking about in Star Citizen's persistent universe, stealth and getting first strikes and avoiding combat are going to be really important too. There are a load of ships and vehicles that should be completed during 2017 as well. The Cutlass Blue, Red and Mustang reworks, the Reclaimer, that huge salvage ship, should be completed, the Terrapin, which is the small scanning and reconnaissance vessel, the Vanguard, Harbinger and Sentinel variants, the Hull Sea cargo hauler, the Razor Racer, which is actually in 3.0, thinking about it, the Hurricane, which is the older heavy fighter, and the Freelancer, Max, Miss and DUR variants, as well as the Constellation Taurus and Phoenix variants as well. They've mentioned that they're working on some larger ships released in 2018 as well. The 890 Jump, that luxury mega yacht, the Banu Merchantman Trader, the Carrack Long Range Explorer as well. And we're going to see a lot more in 2018, not just those ones that we've talked about, but we're going to see lots more large ships, we're going to see lots more concept ships, and we're going to see lots more of the smaller ships. And I'll bring you up-to-date information when we know more. Tanks and tracked vehicles. So we're going to see more ground vehicles in concept before the year's out, including something else by Tumbrel. I also suspect that we're going to see lots and lots and lots of different ground vehicles, and they're going to come online pretty quick. It's going to be quick to get them through the concept to playable pipeline, just because they're mostly don't require any extra mechanics and the system already fully supports them. Concept wise, suspect to see tanks and tracked vehicles and lots more in the future. There is also an expectation of being able to buy ships with Alpha UEC in the game at some point, so they've got those price fixer tools and the trade slayer tools as well as persistence all now down for 3.0. The next logical step is to allow players to test ships in game and the economy by buying those ships. Now obviously Alpha UEC and Alpha UEC purchases will be wiped from your account every so often, but it would be very cool to get being able to buy ships in game and having them last and that sort of stuff. That's going to be a very big hook to play, and it's very important for Star Citizen to allow their players to be able to buy ships with Alpha UEC in game. Weapons and items. So with the expanded mechanics, we're also going to see more systems, weapons, missiles, armors, and more ships. But also, we're going to see lots of stuff on foot. We're going to see gadgets, so they're going to have shields, and they're going to have drones, deployable holograms and decoys, and radar jammers and stuff like that. So we're going to start to see more tangible choices in our equipment and our loadouts, not just for Star Marine, but especially the persistent universe. There's going to be larger anti-tank or anti-vehicle weapons as well, lots of different ship weapons, lots of different stuff. So clothing, suits, armor, that's all coming in as well. We're going to have a huge shopping experience eventually. Gameplay area. So over the next few patches, they're going to be working towards a fully fleshed out standard system. 3.0 only gives around a quarter of the system and no planets. But we will be getting modular space stations, so truck stops, satellites, points of interest, and these modular stations will help fill out the standard system and eventually the verse in a similar way to the procedural planets work. They will procedurally generated stations that work and place all the modules in the correct order, and then artists will go along and they can add hero assets if they want to, or move stuff around. The hero landing zones like Hurston, Crusader, Microtech and ArcCorp, at least to some degree, and lots of moons will all be getting added. Eventually, the whole Stanton system. Planets are going to be having much more variety of biomes, weather, terrain, as well as generally being larger than moons, and we will keep on seeing that planetary tech improve from patch to patch, adding much better ways of doing like scattering of items, better textures on the floors. They're having these huge shadows put in that can range over 10 kilometers in distance, and they're all then working on optimization. And with the optimization front, a whole host of network improvements are coming after 3.0. 3.0 does add a few, but that we're talking about bind cunning, improved servers, optimized throughput of network stuff from client to server. The most major improvements for me at least come with the object container streaming system being fully implemented. Though setup for object containers is in 3.0, and that is the reason they smashed down 2.0 and had to rebuild that section of the standard system, the actual functionality of object containers won't be fully in with 3.0. It will be coming in stages, but pretty quickly, and hopefully being fully implemented by early 2018, allowing for small or large areas to be streamed in on the fly and allowing for vast universe and planets and all this cool stuff in space to all exist in-game with no loading screens or massive frame drops, and then combined with those network improvements, it's going to allow for more NPCs, ships, items, and lots more things to coexist in the same area at an incredibly high level of detail. All leading to higher frame rates and more players in instances, though this will continue to be tweaked and optimized until release. We will eventually see server meshing in the future. This is going to lead to all players being on the same instance and multiple servers handling each zone, but everyone is effectively on the same mega server. So there are definitely various gameplay features that will either be significantly overhauled or added in the near future. We're going to see more and more missions added to the modular mission system. This is going to add variety to the ones that are already coming in 3.0, but as well as adding entirely new ones covering piracy, smuggling, patrols, transportation, assassination, recovery, defense, planetary missions too. We're going to start to see NPCs on the ground that are combat NPCs. We're going to see PvP missions as well. So that reputation and criminality system is going to be worked out, and we're going to see missions that are orientated towards people of different reputations for different factions, PvP orientated ones that aren't necessarily PvP orientated but might have tension between players having different goals and that all like interact with each other. The economy as well is going to evolve with more commodities, items and things to trade, but also becoming more dynamic, being much more influenced by supply and demand of players and NPCs. Missions will be generated based on what's happening in the economy, and missions will affect the economy too. And the cargo system's getting overhauled as well. It will keep on getting iterated and improved upon, and eventually it will allow lots of different things to happen with cargo. We're going to see lots of different types of things that you can carry as well, not just the same cargo crate, but the stacking is going to work differently. You're going to be able to interact with your cargo a lot more. You'll be able to move stuff around in your cargo, a mixture by hand, but also it will take time to unload stuff from your cargo bay and to load it into your cargo bay. So all of that will have to be factored in when you play. Service beacons, this is going to be coming pretty soon too, with the ability to set distress beacons, call for assistance, request fuel in space, and similar services. Also, ship-to-ship refueling will be a thing in the near future too. Nav Beacons, this is the ability to mark areas with a beacon, and then you can quantum travel to that or share its location with others. It will require maintenance every so often as well, because they need batteries. They're literally effectively a missile that you will launch from your ship. Will be a Nav Beacon, but they can also be destroyed, hacked, or used by another player, basically to travel to. The room system. So the room system will be implemented. It's got some set up in 3.0, but the actual implementation of that for pressure, oxygen, atmospheric effects to be tracked and worked out from room to room and airlock to airlock, that's going to be coming a little bit later. So you're going to be able to have ships or buildings decompressing. Rooms will have their own internal air composition, and opening an airlock will change that. The security systems as well will be evolving, allowing for keypads for entry, as well as various forms of other entry into ships, permissions, consoles for doors, doors in general to be breached in different ways. So hacking and breaching is going to be a big thing in game, allowing for all this different security to be circumvented with the right tools or amount of time. This will lead to larger scale boarding actions and disabling of ships as well. The party system, that's going to get some love and some work. It's going to be more easy to join in with friends or other players, form parties, and perform actions and missions together in the persistent universe. FPS stuff, so we're going to get more evolved animations, melee combat, takedowns, being taken down but not killed, so literally being downed yourself and someone else being able to get you back up, bleeding out, player looting, throwable weapons, drones, personal shields, as well as lots of tweaks to the stamina system, EVA system, and carrying object stuff. We're also going to be getting different ammo types for both first-person shooters and weapon side of game, and expect multi-crew to get better and better consistently between patches. A little bit further out, procedural cities are being worked on. These are important for major city planets and built-up worlds to have like ArcCorp done as intended. This tech is really kind of required now. We don't know exactly how or it's being implemented or exactly what it will look like, but expect something that is visually amazing and used for ArcCorp and city planets like Terra. Base building is going to be an important part of Star Citizen now as well, setting up a homestead on the planet. We don't know exactly what they're working on for it, but expect to see in the near future evolving outposts on planets, and basically outposts having functions, buildings on planets having functions that you might want to control. In my interview with Aaron Roberts, he hinted that we'll be seeing lots more in 3.1 when it comes to outposts and bases and that sort of stuff, at least hints at it, so I'm very much excited by that. We're also going to see more star systems and jump drives in the future further out, after the Stanton system is fully fleshed out anyway, and when we start to get more star systems, that's when we start to move into the game becoming a beta. Something that we will also be getting in the not too distant future is voice over IP and in-game integrated spectrum. This is going to allow for better communication, control of communities, your org stuff, lots of org management, lots of party management. From patch to patch, we should see significant improvement in Star Citizen's persistent universe, with better link graphics, performance, as well as more and more mechanics, more ships, more content coming online, the Delta Patcher enabling much better patching practices. And there are lots of other mechanics and much more being worked on at the moment that's going to be coming into the game, like E-War and capital ship combat and expanded character customization. Lots of cool stuff in the future too. Every month we give away a ship. For August, it's a Nox Q. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during the month, including this one. Any questions about Alpha 3.0 or Star Citizen's development in general, or beyond that, please tell me if there's any mechanics that I've missed in the short term, as there's quite a lot to go through with Star Citizen when you're researching this. What ship or mechanic are you looking forward to the most? A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you are interested in becoming one of them, you can find the link to Patreon below, as well as everything else we've talked about. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.